Hello there everyone and welcome to a new review on the channel, and today we're looking at a very interesting kind of utility prop for stage and parlor mentalists, and that is the Amazebox Kraft. This is a great utility to use and to have for varying performance styles, and I can't wait to tell you more about it and how I use it. So that said, let's roll the intro and get straight into it. Perfect, so you decide to stick around, which means you want to learn more about the Amazebox. So what is the Amazebox? The Amazebox is essentially a utility box that allows you to switch billets for other billets or notes for other notes. Whatever you want, you can switch in this box. So regarding performance, can I perform this for you? And the answer is quite simply, not really, because this is something you perform on stage or parlor, so it can't really be done here, but I'm going to tell you how I use it. So essentially, imagine this is like a parlor table for a parlor show and the magician or mentalist is not yet here. I would have this box here with a note on it, like printed on it. Please fill in these papers, and I would have 3 sets of post-it pads of different colors. So yellow, pink, and blue. And then I would have on each one a little stand that says, on this one, write a celebrity, on this one, write a location, and on this one, write an activity. So people would then fill those up, and then they would place them inside of the box. So until those are gone, and then when I come on stage or come back or I'm ready to perform, I say, perfect, everyone has filled this up. I can see there's no more papers. We're just gonna take the box and leave it here to the side. And I would also like to point out that for those that are keen, you have probably seen that there's an envelope hanging right there or an envelope on the stand from the beginning. Then you would do your show, and at one point when you're ready, you say, perfect. So now for the next part of the show, I want to do something interesting. I want to plan like an adventure, a vacation. And I don't want to plan it with my ideas, but with all of yours. Can someone come here and help me? You would have someone come and help you on stage and bring the box from the side and place it in front of them. You then ask the spectator to open up the box. So the spectator would open it up and remove a billet of each color. So a yellow one, a blue one, and a pink one. So they would remove them and say, perfect, are those the billets that you want? So you would open them up, open the 3 billets, and then for example, it says Brad Pitt, the location, it says like Ibiza, and the activity says Formula 1. So you say, wow, so we're going to Ibiza to watch Formula 1 and we're meeting Brad Pitt. These are all the things that you wrote down. You mixed them in the box. You opened the box. You chose the 3 ones and you got these 3. And it was impossible for me to know what would have happened tonight. However, like I told you, there's been an envelope here from the start, and then you remove from it, you can remove a picture, you can remove a folded prediction, whatever, that's going to reveal the 3 things that the spectators chose. That's the way that I use the Amazebox. So essentially a confabulation routine that's basically self-working from start to finish, and the spectators do everything. You don't even have to do anything. So that's the way that I use the Amazebox. So having said that, let's talk about where do you buy this, how much does it cost, and what do you get? So the Amazebox is available from various dealers. You can either get it from Vanishing Ink, from Theory 11. I do believe Penguin have it as well. And a few other shops have it in stock as well, so check it out. The Amazebox also comes in 2 different versions. It comes in the original version, which is the normal Amazebox, which is in white, and that one will set you back $45. Then you have the upgraded version, which is the Amazebox Kraft, which is the one that I have, which is slightly more expensive. It's $60 US. And the difference between them is I think the Kraft is a bit bigger and also made seemingly to look even more inconspicuous. This really looks like something you go to your local craft store and you just buy a box and you kind of made a hole in the top and that's it. It really looks inconspicuous, whereas the other one is white and it draws a bit more attention, whereas this literally like it looks like just a craft box. So I bought this one specifically just for that reason. I feel that it looks so much more organic than the other one, but the other one does the same things, achieves the same things. And I also think the other one is a bit more sturdy than this one. So it depends what you want to do in regards to performance, which one will suit you better, okay? And what do you get with your purchase? Well, I can't speak exactly to the purchase of the original one because this one was pushed out by Theory 11, so it's a bit different in terms of maybe instructions because, for example, the Kraft one, well, you essentially receive it, it comes packed flat in a nice little envelope, you then have to assemble it with the instructions, with the video instructions. It takes maybe 10 minutes to assemble your first time, and then once you get used to it, you can do it in like 1 or 2 minutes, which is why they say you can now pack this after every performance and put it in your case. So you get the box, and then you also get the instructions. In the Kraft version, my instructions were with Franco Pascali. He teaches you how to put the box, he gives you ideas, he gives you the type of billets that you can put inside, how many you should anticipate putting inside, how it works, how to ask your spectator to handle the box, and everything that you need to know in a video that's like, I think 40 minutes long. So I can't really tell you about the other version, which I believe is the tutorial is by Mark Shortland, and it's a whole different thing, so I can't really speak about that. I can only tell you about the Kraft version. Additionally, if you're interested, they also sell a book with a bunch of ideas by a lot of magicians and mentalists. I think the book sells for like $20 and gives you a ton of new ideas if you so wish. So if this is something you really want to use, I think the book is a great add-on to it. So having said all of that, let's now talk about difficulty. So how difficult is the Amazebox? The Amazebox is 0 difficulty. I mean, they're really, you can't even call this a beginner thing because you do nothing. If you really think about it, you never touch this box. You just place it there. The spectators, you don't even have to be at the table when they do this. They're just gonna fill in their papers, place them in. You can even have a spectator place the box to the side when you're coming on stage. They take the box, they open it up, they take the slips. You do nothing. You literally do nothing. The box is made in such a way that it does everything for you. It loads the billets, it switches the billets, and the spectator does everything. So the spectator, by opening the box, they're doing everything. They're switching the entire thing themselves, and they will never know. That's why I like this so much. It's so inconspicuous, it's great, and it's self-working. So difficulty-wise, pretty much 0. The only things that you have to kind of do as a magician is just prep it beforehand. That's all. All you have to do is prepare the box beforehand with what you want to switch, and that's it. So as long as you can write on a post-it note or on a billet the information that you want to switch in, I mean, you're pretty much golden, I guess. So yeah, that's difficulty-wise super easy. Now let's talk about practicality. So how practical is this? So first, the box is quite big. So you may be thinking, oh, do I really have to carry it like this? And the answer is depends. If you want to have it ready to go, so the moment you get to your place, you want to just place it on the table while you're setting up and have people fill, then yes, you do have to carry it already built. However, you can have it folded up and prepare it there at the event. So you can literally come to the event and basically just prepare the box in front of the spectators and you're good to go. Yes, you're going to have to load it as well in front of the spectators, but you can just take it out, you can build it, and then let's say while you're cleaning your table, you put it underneath of the table and you load it there while people are not looking, and then you place it back, right? So there's ways to have it packed flat as well if you wish. So in guarded practicality, you just need technically the box and the way that you want to use it. As a reveal, you can also use that as direct mind reading, however you want. In terms of inspectability, it is not inspectable, but it should never want to be inspectable because the spectator does everything. You're never in control touching the box. The box is in full view. They've placed their billets inside. They've done everything. They open it up. They choose. So there should never be kind of the need for this to be inspectable, nor it will never be in a situation to be inspectable because on stage you only have one spectator, and the fact that they do everything in their head, they're not going to be like, let me inspect this box, right? They do everything. So inspectability, not really. The only place you have to be worrisome of is if you really just do it as I do it and just leave the box here, you may be scared that someone will open it up to place their billet inside. So if you're scared about that, you can literally just put a sign here on the box and say, just place your billet inside, do not open, right? You can do something like that if you're scared about it, but that's the only thing that could mess up your effect, is that if the spectator opens up the box to place their billet and close it back, that will contaminate and essentially ruin your effect. So really be careful about that. That's kind of the only thing inspectability wise that you have to be careful for. Repeatability, you're only going to do this once. This is a stage parlor piece. You're not going to use this multiple times. You only use it once, so that doesn't matter. Regarding reset, again, you only use this once, so the reset, you reset it up at home, so there's no issue regarding that. And regarding setup, well, you need to have a few things. One, you need an event with more than 30 people. This is not something you're going to perform for 10 people or 15 people. I would say 30 or more, in my opinion, because the ability to talk is going to be less likely if there's 30 or more people. Okay, so that's the only thing you really have to be careful about. This is, you do need a set amount of people, so you can't go at a house party of like 10 people and do this, because then they're going to be like, oh, who did you write Brad Pitt? And everyone's going to be like, no, and then you're going to be kind of stuck in a jam. Whereas if you're somewhere where there's like 30, 40, 50 people and they're spread out at different tables, no one is going to stand up and say, who wrote Brad Pitt, right? So you have to take care of that scenario. Additionally, the last thing you have to know regarding practicality is you have to test out what you put inside, whereas how many you can put inside. For example, my post-it note pads, I use the big pads. I can put around 60 billets inside. So if you use plain cards, it's going to be a bit less. It's probably going to be 25, 30 cards. If you use the mini post-it pads, like the really small ones, you can probably put like 100 of them inside. So you just have to test out and know that when you prepare for the event and you want to use this box, practicality-wise, you also have to make sure you have an amount of cards that are going to be placed inside that is not exceeding its limit for its functionality. Okay? That's all you have to know regarding practicality. Now let's talk about where to perform. Regarding where to perform, I think it is relatively simple. This is solely for parlor, stage, or cabaret. This is not something you're going to perform close up, on Zoom, table hopping, casual performances, or on the street. This is strictly just parlor, stage, or a cabaret with 30 or more people, in my opinion. So if you don't meet that criteria, then I don't think this is necessarily going to be something for you. So it really needs to be for quite a few people in a specific setting, because it's a big box, and because of its workings, you want to have more than like 10 people there. So having said all this, let's get into the positives and negatives of Amazebox. So first of all, let's start with the negatives. So what are the negatives of Amazebox? Well, one of them is that these boxes are very inconspicuous, which means that when they're designed, they're made to just be normal boxes, which means that over time, if you use this a lot and keep packaging it, building it, because you perform it a lot and opening it, closing it with your spectators nonstop, it's going to wear down relatively fast. And for example, for me, I don't use this all the time because I don't get the specific scenarios to do it all the time. But even with how many uses I've had of it, which is quite a bit, the Velcros on the side have started to a bit wear down. So sometimes the box like one of the sides just flips open like a wing. So it's gonna wear down eventually, okay? So you have to keep in mind, it is just a box. So if a spectator, for example, opens it up and like really tugs on it, he could literally just rip it because it's just a Kraft box, right? So you have to be careful about that. The second negative of it is something that I've already mentioned, is that this can only be used in specific scenarios. So parlor, cabaret, stage, with a set amount of people and more, okay? So that is going to alienate a lot of people. Having said that, where are the positives of this? One, it's super easy to use. It's super inconspicuous. It looks like just a normal Kraft box. It has tons of possibility ideas. It's super easy to manipulate due to the fact that spectator does everything. Just think of how clean that is to have a box that you never have to manipulate or touch, that the spectator does everything with. It's incredible. For the price point as well, it's kind of half off, or sometimes if you buy the normal version, it's like 3 times less expensive than other Switch box on the market. So you're really getting a box that can play for a crowd of 100 people for really cheap and allows you to do a lot of great things. So I really like this. So having said that, do I recommend it? And what do I give it out of 10? So do I recommend it? And the answer is, even if you perform for stage parlor of 30 or more people, once every 3 months. I think that if you buy this box, you're going to use it every time that you're going to be in those scenarios. Every time. And I guarantee it. However, and I still think it's worth your money. If you're someone that performs on parlor stage for more than like 30 plus people all the time, just buy it. I think it's the best one out there, or the one that I've seen. However, if you're someone that never performs in those scenarios, don't buy it. You're never going to use it. It's just going to stay there in your shelf and it's going to collect dust. So it really depends about who you are as a performer and where you perform. But having said that, I really think this is great. I think that for the price that you're paying for this, it is unbeatable. I think it is one of the best switch boxes out there that I've seen. And for what you're getting for the price and the possibilities that you can do with this, I think it is incredible. I'm giving it an 8.75 on 10. A very, very, very good product. So yeah, that's all I have to say about the Amazebox. If you have any additional questions, make sure to leave them down below. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all in my next video.